Bang! The Raptors finally making some shots and they get a big win over the visiting Atlanta Hawks. Welcome to the Raptors NBA podcast. Yes, Alex, the Raptors defeating the Hawks. They caught hot from deep. They win the first of a two-game set in Toronto against Atlanta. What were your thoughts on the game?
Great game. I'm all the way back in. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Like, we like to get very excited about small wins like this. I don't think Atlanta's that good of a team, but it still was a pretty good win. The Raptors actually looked pretty good. OG was an absolute monster. Pascal had a crazy line. Pascal went 33, 7 and 7. OG 25, 5 and 3. Scottie with another double-double, 27 and 10, with 6 assists. And honestly, man, I thought that the Raptors just played very quick. Like, we were very quick with everything, which is something that we haven't seen in a while. That small guard, like those two small guards on Atlanta, weren't doing them any favors. Trae Young just getting blocked in the lane by Jakob, which there's two plays I want to talk about later. But I don't know. The Raptors look pretty good. We're playing them again tomorrow, and then they're playing the Hornets. So that 3-game win streak might come to fruition after all. I don't know. I thought it was a good game. What'd you think?
Get your Visa card ready, Darko. Make those reservations at Red Lobster. The boys are pulling through.
Hey, man, Red Lobster's nice. I love Red Lobster.
I'm allergic to shellfish. I can't participate, unfortunately. You're excited about this Raps win. Of course you are.
Mm-hmm.
You touched on this, though. The Hawks aren't that good. They have a record worse than the Raptors. I think they're like 9 and 14 now. But watching them, I couldn't help but think, are we watching the Raptors play against the Raptors? Like, this team has the Hawks have a couple of dudes, kind of like the Raptors. They're underperforming. They're like 5 games under 500. No real direction with the team. Like, being a Hawks fan, I'm sure, is very similar to being a Raptors fan.
And it's funny because at the start of the year, everyone had really high hopes for the Hawks. Everyone thought that they were going to do really well this season. Another year of that backcourt being together. Clint Capella's been playing pretty well. It seems like they've been a huge disappointment. Same thing. Yeah. 9 and 14. The Raptors are 10 and 14, and they seem very mediocre. I don't know how long the Hawks can keep that backcourt together, if that's the case, because they just seem too small. Like, they're tiny. You know, Trae Young is tiny.
DeJounte Murray?
DeJounte is like slender. He's good. He's quick, but he's a little too slender. He gets put off spots pretty easily. He got switched onto OG a couple of times, and OG just bodied him. So it was like very difficult for them to guard bigger guards for the Hawks. So I don't know. That's my problem with them. And so that one play, which, by the way, shout out to your girlfriend's favorite Raptor of all time, Jakob Poeltl. Hilarious.
Which one player are we talking about?
Jakob Poeltl. So Trae Young comes down the middle. Jakob gets that huge block and then comes down the other end. OG has that massive slam, one of the dunks of the year, in my opinion, probably a top 10 dunk of the year this year on Clint Capella. And then literally the next play down, the exact same thing happens. Trae Young comes straight down the lane thinking that he could put up a shot over Jakob Poeltl, who's underrated. He's an underrated defender. Another block for him. And I honestly thought my TV glitched for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Did this just run back? Because it was the exact same play. And then Scottie with that amazing and one finish. It seemed like the Raptors had it the entire game. At the end, it was like getting pretty close. They brought it down to 5 with like a couple of minutes left, with a minute left. And then the Raptors sealed it. But I don't know. Like, I thought it was a pretty good win. Do we think that anything changes about the whole Pascal thing after this win, or not really?
He's more valuable right now. That helps his trade value. Keep putting up these numbers. Yeah, it helps. I still think they'll trade him. Those 2 Poeltl blocks, just identical. I was cutting the game at work, cutting highlights for it, and when I was doing it, I'm like, did I just put the same play twice in a row? Like, did I mess up here? But no, Trae Young. You gotta learn, Trae.
You gotta learn, Trae. You gotta learn. They were really partying aggressively last night. I don't want to say too much, but I know a few people that were at the club with them last night with the Hawks, not with the Raptors. And apparently it was going till the wee hours of the morning. So I don't know. I'm sure they're super hungover today. Probably tomorrow it's going to be really difficult for them to play. I'm honestly saying that I think the Raptors are getting the W tomorrow if what I'm hearing is correct, which
This is
good
why you need to
sources.
listen to Raptors NBA podcast. Insider information. Nobody's tweeting this out.
No, they were I'm telling you, Andy, they were partying super hard, very valid sources until like 5, 6 in the morning.
off a loss.
Yeah, awful loss. Maybe that's why they're not doing pretty well. By the way, our nightlife, the Toronto nightlife is incredible. I don't care what people think. Yeah, LA obviously amazing. Toronto at this time of year, there's something going on in the city. Like I feel like everyone's out every night, especially during this holiday time.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday night. Honestly, man, the Hawks got caught up in the Toronto nightlife last night. I'm almost gonna guarantee a win on Friday for the Raptors. I'm saying it right now. I'm guaranteeing a win. Let's lay some money down. Are you down? Let's lay some money down. Are you down?
You think? But they have a night off tonight, Thursday night. Do you think they're having 2-day hangovers?
By the sounds of it, that's probably what it'll be.
That hard. Wow.
I'll tell you when we get off of this. I didn't prep you for this, but I'll tell you what I heard last night. Actually this morning about the whole situation. Let's not say anything on camera. Anyways, the other thing, man, I have to say it. I'll say it again. Dennis Schroeder, sometimes he looks like the most athletic guard in the league, and I'm not even kidding. He's so quick. He's so quick. He gets low. He plays defense. He's like impossible to guard in the pick and roll when he's on like this. I don't know, man. It makes me think like it always makes me think of what these guys' daily schedule is like. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like it makes me think like what did he do differently last night or the night before or this week to prep for this game to make him as good as he is right now?
I can tell you what it is.
What is it?
Playing against his former team. It's a revenge game. He wants redemption on the Hawks.
Okay, but
he was part of those good like Eastern Conference leading Hawks teams and never got the credit because he was better than Jeff Teague.
Oh right? My God, Andy. Andy and I have been arguing about this for like 10 years. Who's better, Jeff Teague or Dennis Schroeder? Obviously now it's Jeff Teague. He's still in the Dennis Schroeder is still in the league. What was I gonna say? So I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast yesterday. He had Doc Rivers on, and they were talking about how all these guys take care of their bodies, and they brought up a really good point because kind of to what I'm saying right now about Dennis Schroeder. They were talking about how LeBron takes care of his body, and everybody who's on the Lakers or has been on these LeBron teams knows his routine, but nobody actually does it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's all a matter of work ethic. And apparently, obviously, LeBron watches every single thing that he puts into his body, similar to Tom Brady. He watches what time he eats. His routines are so set that it's really tough to break him off this routine. So it makes me think like when guys have good games, maybe they have a great routine a day or 2 days prior to these games. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know. If Dennis could play like this, if our whole team can play like this, I think we're going to be tough to stop. But I feel like, again, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
You think it's a day or two before games, you can just eat healthy and you're better for the game? No, it's long-term habits. LeBron does these long-term things. One of the GOATs, Novak Djokovic, after the most recent U.S. Open, was like, yeah, I'm going to have my first piece of chocolate in 400 days, like over a year.
No, I know. That's not what I mean. I don't mean a couple of days before, but exactly what I just talked about. You know, I feel like a lot of players party 24/7. Honestly, imagine having that much money when you're whatever in your early to mid 20s.
So you don't think LeBron likes to party?
I know LeBron likes to party. LeBron likes to party, but he's very like cautious about what he puts into his body, his training routine. It's a 365-day a year thing for him. So I don't know, but I don't know how we veered off topic right now. Well, back to this. So the Raptors have the Hawks tomorrow night, 7:30. Monday, the Hornets, and then Wednesday, the Nuggets. Could this be a 3-win in a row type of time right now?
Got to get the wins before the Nuggets game. You're not winning that one. This could be the one chance this year. This is the one chance If they want a free dinner, this is it. We're going to the game on Friday, tomorrow. You noticed something we have been noticing this year. It's a lot of empty seats in that place. What's going on here?
A lot of empty seats. If anybody wants to check the highlights of the Raptors Hawks, you'll see that the majority of the lower bowl is empty. Like maybe not the majority, but I'd say like half the seats are taken, half of them are not. And yesterday, the game got really tight and it got pretty, it got pretty close late, and it still seemed like nobody was there. It's not like people were coming back late from, halftime. It was literally like 2-3 minutes left in the fourth quarter and a bunch of seats were empty. So I just feel like there isn't as much interest in this team this year, which is a bit upsetting, but it's because of their lackluster start to the season, I guess, quarter way through the season. So I don't know. We'll see. We're going to go and we'll report back as to how it's going tomorrow. Next topic for you.
Yes.
We have to touch on this Draymond Green thing. We haven't talked about this before. I want to know what you think about it.
Did something happen with Draymond? I thought
Draymond Green, for those who have been living under a rock, punches Yusuf Nurkic in the face 2 days ago. He said that he didn't mean to do it. He was just like flinging his arms, but he really hit him hard, man.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Everybody. So Yusuf says, I hope that brother gets help. KD says, I hope he gets the help that he needs. Are we seeing a different Draymond, and are we going to see him back this season because he's suspended indefinitely?
First off, this whole let's hope he gets help he needs. What is this dialogue we're opening up? Like he's some sort of addict or has some issue. That's not how we talk about this. He is acting a fool. He doesn't need help. He's just being too aggressive. That's him. I don't know. Do people say Ron Artest should get the help he needs?
I don't know. I just think lately it seems like Draymond, it seems like he's just been going off the wagon. Like he's just punching people, like kicking people. But again, we don't know because I feel like the whole Jordan Poole thing happened during the offseason, but maybe stuff like that has happened in the past. Like we have no idea. Like he just choked Rudy Gobert a couple weeks ago. Then he punches Yusuf Nurkic. He just doesn't like big men. He doesn't like centers. I don't know. Maybe because he's still playing pretty well, from a defensive standpoint. He's still like a top 10 player in the league. So it's not like he's dropped off in that sense. I don't know. He just can't control his emotions. But that was a swing. I wonder how long he's going to be suspended for, because an indefinite suspension is a bit wild in the NBA. I don't know last time, when was the last time we've seen that?
Was John Morant indefinite for a bit? No. Someone at work last night suggested until after the All-Star break, which seems like a long time, but it's possible.
I don't know. I think he just needs to chill out a little bit.
He just needs to get the help he needs. What does that consist of?
I don't know. Maybe
such
go
big conversation.
Go check your anger issues,
You think he's gonna do that?
You know how you get angry sometimes, Andy?
But yeah, I sleep and I'm better.
Yeah, or but then I was thinking, anytime somebody's going through a rut or something, maybe something is happening in his personal life. We don't know. Anyways, all right, are we done with that? Do you have anything else to say about that, or not really? Just a stupid thing to do, ridiculous. Should we move on?
Stupid. Yeah, ridiculous. Sure.
Yeah. All right, one more thing from me, and then I don't know what are you gonna say?
No. What's your one more thing?
I want to know your position with this Milwaukee Bucks ball thing, because, again, for those that don't know, at the end of the game, Giannis scored 64 points yesterday against the Indiana Pacers. And then one of the Indiana Pacers rookies scored their first basket yesterday as well. What happened was Indiana took the game ball, but 64 points was, I guess, was it a franchise record in points scored, or was it a franchise record in
How does points scored?
Players points scored.
Yeah.
Not total. It was just Giannis's 64, correct?
Yeah.
So it was the Indiana Pacers rookie's first basket versus a franchise record number of points scored by a single player. What are your thoughts? Who should have gotten the ball? Because apparently the Indiana Pacers took that ball, and then Giannis and a bunch of other people rushed to their locker room. They were in their hallway. We were trying to get that ball back, shoving. Apparently the GM of the Pacers got hit in the ribs, bruised ribs. Like, I don't know. What do you think of that?
How do you actually believe his ribs are bruised, or do you think they're being dramatic? I don't think they're bruised.
My whole thing is like, how tall is the Indiana Pacers GM? That was my first thought, because like if an opposing Bucks player elbowed him in the ribs, for me it's like, all these guys are like 6'7", 6'8". Like, who's elbowing somebody in the ribs? I don't know. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration.
Okay.
But what do you think? Who should have gotten that ball? That's my question to you.
Did you know it was not, I think his name's Oscar Tshiebwe, the Kentucky guy. I think that's his name. It was not his first actual, well, he's already had a basket in the NBA. He scored a point in the in-season tournament final. However, those points do not count towards points. So he has had a bucket before, but no, it belongs with Giannis. Nobody cares about your first basket. A franchise record, you get the ball.
This is so funny. I just typed it in, and there's just a bunch of articles saying first point versus franchise record ? Well, I didn't even research this before this, but Antetokounmpo's career night ball was reserved for Pacers rookie. That's so funny. So wait. So you think the franchise should have gotten it?
Okay, here's a question for you. Kobe's 81-point game. Should he get the ball, or should some Raptors rookie who is a no-name get the ball? It's so obvious it should be Kobe should get the ball.
No, listen,
Will
I agree with you.
Chamberlain, 100-point game, he doesn't deserve the ball if a guy gets his first point?
No. Hey, I agree with you. I just think sometimes you come off the top rope with your take, so I thought you were going to say something different. I thought you'd be like, it's his first basket. Obviously, he deserves the ball. No, but I agree with you. That guy, like, Giannis got so mad. I don't think I've ever seen Giannis that heated. Like, he was coming after Halliburton. He was coming after the bench. He, like, rushed into the back. He like, I thought he was going to kill someone.
Okay, here's another question about that.
Yeah.
Giannis scored like 13 of his points in the last few minutes when the Pacers had already switched off their starters and were not playing their dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fake milestone? Just beating up on the Pacers' 10th to 15th guy on the bench?
I don't think so. I think he was just super hot. Like, you just let him cook. If he's hot, just let him cook. How many you said? 14, so he's already at 50. Just let the boy cook. Let the man cook. Get him in the kitchen. No, but maybe that's why they were a little bit pissed off as well, because they won 140, 126.
Yeah.
Is everyone making too big of a deal about this Indiana Pacers team?
Too big? You think they're frauds because they lost this game?
No, I just think like they're definitely a tier below all of the best teams. They're not a contender by any means. Is it correct, or are you thinking they might be?
They're as much of a contender as the Lakers are.
Okay, we have a different opinion on this. The Lakers are absolutely a contender. That's not. How are you going to say that after they just destroyed the Pacers? How are you saying?
The Lakers just won their last banner for the rest of this decade. That in-season tournament. Enjoy it, Lakers fans. That's it. You're aging. No draft capital. No young guys. You're frauds.
I want Miles Turner on the Raptors.
Wow, we said this last episode.
I was playing basketball yesterday, and I said this, and like 4 people started yelling at me, be like, "Oh look, we don't want Miles Turner." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "We already have Jakob." I'm like, do you guys realize Jakob is our only big man? Like, we don't have any more bigs. We get dominated if we play a big team. Dominated every time. Every time. Pascal gets swallowed up. Jakob tries to do his best, but he's not the biggest guy. And then we have nobody else when Jakob goes to the bench.
I feel like the Raptors need guards who can shoot more.
I want Miles Turner.
That's not the need.
22, 9, and 0. Actually, 0 assists. I want Miles Turner. I need Miles Turner.
That's not the move. We've discussed this. I'm
Benedict
irritated.
Mathurin, another person who's been swirling in the trade rumors for Siakam. He went for 14, 1-1 yesterday.
He's not a blue chip guy. We're probably overrating him because he's Canadian.
He's not a blue chip. All right. What else do you have? Or are you done with this podcast tonight?
I saw a fun fact.
Yep.
Guess who is averaging the most minutes per game in the NBA right now?
We're gonna go ahead and say Pascal.
No. Someone who averaged a lot in the past for the Raptors under a different coach, and people critique the coaching, but he's now on a new team and averaging the most in the league. Fred VanVleet, 38 minutes a game.
We talked about Freddie a couple of episodes ago. He's been playing his lights out. He's awesome for that team. What is Houston's record right now? Let me look this up. Andrew.
Let's play. What if the Raptors had Fred VanVleet? Would they be a 500 team right now? Would he be worth a couple more wins?
Probably. I don't know. We were both kind of out on him.
I wasn't very out on him.
No?
No.
Wanted to keep him around?
I told you the Raptors are going to miss the playoffs because they're missing one of their best players. Come on.
No, I think you're just saying that now. I feel like you were out on him.
Roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
Producers,
I see the Rockets record. Oh, there it is. So they're 12-9. 12-9.
That's good. A tough West.
I have one more team to talk about for a second.
Let's discuss.
Just one more team.
Okay.
The MFing LA Clippers, baby. With
what about
my boy, James Harden. 5 wins in a row, correct?
This is very short-term thinking. The Clippers have won 5 in a row. They're 8th in the West at 13-10. Sure.
I don't know, man. They're starting to cook. The Clippers are starting to cook. The clips and dip. Clips and dip. LA Clippers have won 5 games in a row. Let's see the Clippers schedule. Can they get to 10 in a row?
Why is this a conversation?
I love James Harden. I don't care what anyone says about him.
Is he your favorite player on the Clippers?
He might be. No, he's not my favorite player in the league. I obviously have to go like LeBron, Steph.
No, on the Clippers.
Oh, on the Clip. Yeah, 100%.
More than Kawhi?
Yeah, for sure. More than Kawhi. Kawhi left the Raptors. I don't care about Kawhi.
You want to chip for the Raptors?
I cared about
Kawhi?
I cared about him for the time he was here, and then he left the city. He left us. No, I don't care about Kawhi. It's like, do you care about how much you can care about Kawhi as much as you care about your ex-girlfriend? Of course, there's going to be a little bit of care there, but you're not going to be like, oh, I miss my ex-girlfriend. You're not going to say that all the time, are you?
That's a good point. That'd be weird.
That's a good point. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, Clippers have the Warriors next. So Warriors at Clippers, no Draymond. That's a W. That's 6 in a row. Knicks at Clippers. That might be a bit more tough. That's on Saturday.
7.
Let's say 7. Okay, Clippers at Pacers.
8. No, I'm just playing with you. They're not going to beat the Pacers. They're not going to beat the Knicks. They're not. This is cute. They'll probably sneak into a play-in game. Maybe they'll have some injuries down the stretch.
Can I ask you a question? Why are you such a Clippers hater?
I'm an LA basketball hater this year.
Like, why? Why? Explain.
I think they're old. I don't think they mix that well together. I think they're both an injury away from being out of the playoffs.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to us. And you better listen to our next episode and all the others. Unsubscribe from everything else and be sure to subscribe to Raptors NBA podcast on all your podcast platforms and social media platforms. And have a great day. Go Raps.